Hello. Oh, excuse me. Hello, everyone. I know we were just live a little while ago, but we kind of need to be back on the air because we have a very, very strong tornado here in eastern Nebraska, in association with our enhanced risk. Oh, excuse me. Do forgive me. I had dinner. I'm eating it, so we had to go live for this though. So Uh, let me go ahead and give an overview as to what's going on. This is the storm that we are worried about right here. This is just a few miles to the southwest of Yeling, about 5 miles to the southwest of Yuling, or also approximately 5 miles to the east northeast of Scribner. This is a particularly dangerous situation. It has been a weather spotter's confirmed tornado, and the previous tornado warning had it pegged as a multi-vortex tornado. So this is a very large, very powerful tornado. Um, I've been watching it for the last few frames on radar. It has not slowed down. In fact, it's only been getting stronger over the last few frames. You can really see that TDS there, that tornado debris signature. The velocity couplet is screaming right now as it is moving to just past Yelling. This is heading toward Oakland and Leon's, Nebraska. So currently it is not quite paralleling Route 77. It should intersect that highway just north of Oakland. But this is a particularly dangerous situation. There is multiple other tornado warnings, however, that I do want to touch on very quickly here. We have one near O'Neill. We have one currently near Stanton. Then we also have one near Colon, as well as this one down here near Stella. We are watching. Oh, I'm watching that one rather closely. It's falling apart rather substantially in the last few frames, so I'm not too worried about that one. However, I am very worried about this storm here. This storm has kind of broken off from the rest of the arcing line. You can kind of see the line there. Um, so basically, the way the storms have been evolving over this event, they've been evolving over this arc as things progress. This one formed along the line, and now it's broken free, and it is moving. It's currently moving toward the north at 30 miles per hour. This is a particularly dangerous, damaging tornado. It has been confirmed from spotters as being on the ground, but we don't. I don't need, or you don't need me to tell you that it's on the ground. You can see it on radar. Right here, where all this black and blue is, that is our debris signature. So it is extremely important that you are taking this situation as seriously as you possibly can. Let me take a bite of my dinner here while we wait for the next scan to come in so we can see what this storm is doing. All right, I'm just going to very quickly let's see here. I'm just looking through everything, trying to get as much information as I can from as many different sources as I possibly can. Um, Let me just see here. Okay. Okay. So overall, the storm is still very much producing a significant, potentially intense tornado. Um, the couplet is absolutely screaming as it is moving past Yelling. Um, this is a particularly dangerous situation still. Um, and I'm personally very worried about the towns of Oakland and Leon's. If this tornado manages to stay on the ground, which it might not, there is some interference to its south, but if it continues on its way, then we could very easily see this getting up toward Oakland and Leon's. If it gets there, then we're gonna have some serious issues, as Oakland and Leon's are, they're decent towns, but this is a very strong tornado. It could very easily take out buildings left and right if it gets there. So, excuse me, we're gonna be watching this extremely closely. I say as I'm eating dinner. So, I do apologize if I'm a little out of breath, a little scatterbrained. This did come up quite pretty much out of the blue. Um, I was hoping that it would lift before it got to parallel yelling, but obviously it didn't. So we are on the air. Plug my headphones in actually. There we go. Okay. All right. So we can look on reflectivity. There we have our debris signature, even on reflectivity. So this is not a good sign at all. We do not like reflectivity debris balls. Those mean that it is a very powerful storm. Basically, not only is it picking up a lot of debris, it's able to spin the debris out from the center. So, if you're trying to spin something on a string, for example, if you, in order to get it to go out farther, you have to spin that thing faster and faster and faster with more force, and that literally pushes the thing out as it's going around in that string. That's basically what's going on with this tornado. It's spinning so fast that it's able to push debris that's picking up away from the center. That's what's causing that little donut hole we saw there. Um, but the debris signature is still there. Just look at this thing. This is definitely the strongest tornado that we've had today, which is unfortunate. I didn't want to say that, but I think it is. So I am very worried about the storm, and I'll stick with it until the PDS goes away, or until the tornado lifts, um, or at least until hopefully the supercell will just choke itself off and just fizzle out. But we'll have to wait and see on that, as it is still very much going strong. I'm not going to be moving from this radar site anytime soon. All right, so the tornado has just crossed. Um, so I don't. Okay, so this is this connecting road between routes 275 and 77. The tornado has crossed that. It is still more or less paralleling Route 77. It is moving toward Route 32 or State Route 32. So if you are on State Route 32 or anywhere to the south, you are in imminent danger from this tornado. It is moving at 30, 35 miles an hour. So it'll be at the roads to the south of you within just a few minutes here. It does look like the TDS is starting to spread out a bit, which is a good sign. It means it's not really as deep. So hopefully that means that it is starting to weaken, but we'll have to wait and see if that's actually the case. Do bear with me while I gather some information from other sources. One moment. Okay. So overall, it looks like the storm is weakening, which is a good sign. Um, but yeah, it's still confirmed on the ground by spotters and radar. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located approximately 2 miles west of Yaling, 9 miles southeast of West Point, moving northeast at 25 miles per hour. This will be impacting Oakland and Leon's as well. So definitely make sure you're in shelter now. Do not wait. The storm is coming, and it's coming. Well, it's coming at a decent rate. It's not it's not moving terribly fast. In fact, it's moving a little bit below average, but it's still doing some good speed. So make sure you get into shelter now if you're in the polygon. But yeah, as far as I'm concerned though, the storm is very heavily rain wrapped. There's no way you're going to see this tornado coming. So if you're in this tornado warning, if you're in this particularly dangerous tornado warning, you need to be in shelter. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Do not go outside and try to record this thing. You won't be able to see it. Uh, I mean, I've seen images from storm chasers, their feeds. This thing is wrapped completely. You cannot see this tornado. The only possible place that you can get a view is in this area here. But once you're in that area, you're tickling the dragon's tail because look how close you are to that tornado. So do not attempt to chase this. I repeat, do not attempt to chase this. Do not attempt to go outside and see where this tornado is. Do not attempt to go outside and get a visual on this tornado. You will not be able to. Do not attempt to go out and attempt to listen to the tornado. You will not be able to hear it. You will not be able to locate this via any means. All you'll see is just a huge curtain of rain that's wrapping around this tornado. And by the time you see it, it'll be too late. So please make sure you go to storm shelter, that you go to the interior room of a sturdy building on the lowest floor. That's pretty much all you can do at this point.
Rain wrapped, and it is a big time wedge tornado. We know it's a wedge. Chasers are saying it's a wedge. So this is a large, potentially violent tornado. I appreciate you going on the air. I wasn't able to. I was able to a little bit earlier today, but I appreciate you taking the time to go on tonight. I'm going to do my best to help out here where I can. But yeah, this large tornado, it's just north of, how's that pronounced? Yuling?
I've been saying it as wailing so far.
Whaling, okay. We've got Oakland and Leons, I believe that's how you pronounce it, in the sights of this thing. This thing is it's heading now um, into Burt County. This thing is well into Burt County. Very intense tornado vortex signature on this thing. Um, this is likely a significant tornado at least. It's big, it's large, it's potentially violent, and it's heading toward Oakland. So if you're in Oakland, it's time to get to your safe place right now. Um, so that's extremely important.
Yeah, absolutely. There really is no doubt about it. And so just in case I know the last time I hosted a stream with another team member, the audio issues were a bit unbalanced. So I do hope that someone is in the chat who's able to verify that you're able to hear Thomas. But just in case, I'll try to reiterate his words as best I can. So basically, apart from the beginning segment where he was introducing himself, this is a very dangerous situation. It is moving toward Oakland. It is still a particularly dangerous situation. You need to be moving to shelter immediately, as there is little to no time to react. This is rain wrapped. You will not be able to see it. You will not be able to identify it by vision or by hearing. So just move down to the lowest floor of a sturdy building, or If you can't do that, or if you have a basement, then get there. Um, I'm not liking this tornado debris signature though, Thomas. How about you?
I'm not liking it at all. This thing is quickly deteriorating when it comes to the look for Oakland. If you're in Oakland here, you've got a big time tornado that's on the way with a big debris signature indicating that this is a strong one. This is a very strong one. So if you're in Oakland right now, I've just tracked it out. You got about 14 minutes. Um, and it does appear I'm not audible.
Disappear, not audible again. Lovely. All right, so that is fun. Well, that is unfortunate, but so Oakland, you have about 14 minutes according to Thomas. I don't have any idea why my audio is as messed up as it is. I have everything maxed out, so I really I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But at least for now, I can run solo if you need me to. Um, just that way, at least information can be given out. If you Thomas, if you want to take over, then you're absolutely feel free to. I'll stick with you.
I
Just
can't take over for now. I don't.
understood.
I'm gonna have to go here in a minute.
Understood. Well, regardless, Thomas, even though the audience can't quite hear you, um, I do want to say thank you for popping on, even if it is for just a few minutes. Just having another voice in my ear definitely helps with keeping tabs on things. So thank you very much. Um,
Okay, well, if they can't hear me, I'll just put important info in your ear as I get it.
sounds good to me. Just go ahead and mute that just in case. And I'm doing like four things at once. So let me just make sure that everything is at least still visible. There we go. All right. So it does appear that the debris signature, or at least the couplet, is falling apart rather rapidly, which is good. Um, so let me go ahead and animate a few frames so we can see what's been going on. So there's our tornado as it moved past Hooper, past Whaling, and once it got past Whaling, it kind of it's just kind of fizzled out. Um, it does appear like it's still on the ground. Unfortunately, there's our debris signature. Um, it might be trying to cycle though. So, and if it cycles, it looks like this is the old couplet, and this is a new one developing. So, if you are in Oakland, this is actually reforming closer to you. This is actually going to put it on a track closer to you if you're in Oakland. Wherever the tornado is actually, regardless, if you're in Oakland, you need to be in shelter now. This is not a question anymore. This is basically a demand. You need to be getting to shelter. There is no more waiting. That's what I figured was going on. Oh, while that's happening, I'm just gonna take a bite of dinner. So let's see here. Um, all right, so I don't have the updated polygon yet, but there is an update forthcoming, so that should be here in short order. Once I have that, I'll let you know what the warning says, but as it stands, there is still a trail on the ground to the southwest of Oakland, located approximately 5 miles to your southwest, probably at 4 miles, really. You can see very clearly on our reflectivity, that hook right there. And our tornado is situated right in the little notch there. Right in there is our tornado. Moving off to the northeast at 25 miles per hour. And there we go. Okay. I have the updated text 621. A confirmed large and extremely dangerous tornado was located 3 miles southwest of Oakland. 10 miles east of West Point, moving northeast 25 miles per hour. This will be near Oakland in about 12 minutes. We're on Leon's at 650. All right, so that couplet is coming back with a vengeance now, unfortunately. It is confirmed by weather spotters to be on the ground still. This is also producing golf ball sized hail at 1.75 inches. So this is nothing to shake your nose at. You need to be in shelter now if you aren't already. I'm going to do a quick check on some of the other tornado warnings that we have. Make sure that nothing else is going on. So our tornado warning down south is still radar indicated as it's passing by Peru, and it is also producing golf ball sized hail. However, the initial warning did also indicate 2-inch hail. At one point, it was producing tennis balls. So that is definitely a potent storm that you need to keep your eye on as well if you're down there. Let's see, radar indicator rotation on that one. Radar indicator rotation on that one. That one has expired. So as it stands, we only have one tornado on the ground at this time. That is our PDS heading toward Oakland. We do not have any upgrades to tornado emergency. However, given the strength of this tornado, if there is enough people in the way, we could see the SBC officially pull the trigger on that upgrade. As of yet, it is still only PDS, but that doesn't really mean anything at this point. At this point, there is a very large tornado heading in your direction, and you need to be moving shelter. Really, if you're anywhere in Oakland, if you are in a suburb of Oakland, if you're in dead center Oakland, you have to be in shelter at this point. There's no more waiting. It's a wedge tornado, according to Thomas, yeah. Unfortunate, but honestly, given the presentation, not unexpected. The CC signature has diminished greatly, thankfully. So I think at this point, it's not as strong as it used to be. But definitely given that couplet presentation, that's not going to last. In fact, I can see a little bit of a reflectivity to reball redeveloping there. So I think this will pass Oakland by just barely. There might be some outer reaches that will be impacted by this storm, but I'm becoming increasingly worried about Leon's as they are in the direct path of this storm. So if you are watching this stream and you know anyone in Oakland or Leon's, let them know they need to be in shelter immediately. And that if they do not get to shelter soon, that they are putting their lives in jeopardy. This is a particularly dangerous situation for a reason. This is a large, extremely dangerous tornado, confirmed by spotters to be a large wedge tornado. So do not hesitate to get to shelter. Hesitation can lead to injury and potential loss of life. Let's see here. I'm happy to see that we only have the one tornado on the ground at this point, though. Earlier we had upwards of 3 or 4 on the ground simultaneously, which made it very hard to track. Right now we only really have the one, so that's at least a good sign. But then again, there is a lot of issues that are developing as a result of this storm system. We still have this arcing band of severe storms moving north and northeast through Nebraska, approaching the Iowa state border now. But regardless, the storms need to be taken as seriously as humanly possible. Let's see. But if you are watching this stream, if you have any comments, questions, concerns, please direct them to us. You can just type them right in the chat. We will be able to see them. If you want to bring extra attention to them, you can tag us at Advective Weather, and it will pop up nice, bright, and yellow for us to see. We'll be able to answer your question with very quick turnaround if you do so. So it does appear that the tornado is back on the ground. We are starting to see those lower CC values again. Um, it's not quite definitive yet, but we do have spotters saying that it is on the ground. It is just passing State Route 32, and it is still moving off to the north northeast at approximately 25 miles per hour. Yes, as of 2 minutes ago, it is still confirmed to be on the ground. It is just west of Oakland, with a second smaller tornado located 1 mile south of Oakland. So we have a pair of tornadoes on the ground now. I repeat, we have a pair of tornadoes. It's really hard to see where that second tornado is on the radar, however. I'm guessing it's in here, but it is extremely hard to tell where it is. Just know, Oakland, there is another tornado somewhere to your south in this mess. And wherever it is, it's going to impact you directly. So please, please get to shelter. I cannot stress that enough. We also have our main tornado as well. So we really need to make sure that people in Oakland are in shelter now and that Leons are moving to shelter as quickly as humanly possible now. Let me just gather some information for you guys. Okay. So just looking at this couplet now, it has definitely come back. They are continuously updating this polygon, which is good. I do like to see them updating the polygon. Um, so that will at least keep us well informed as to what's going on with this storm as it continues off to the north northeast, heads off toward Leon's. Um, so you can see pretty clearly here. There's a rain band moving in, another rain band, but our tornado is actually right in there. Like you can see the CC signature coming back there. There's our TDS, our tornado debris signature. So it's right there. That's our tornado. So it is past Oakland. However, you are not in the clear yet. Stay in shelter for the time being. You're getting close to being in the clear, but you're not quite in the clear. Leon's, however, you folks are running out of time to get to shelter. I repeat, you are running out of time to get to shelter. Unfortunately, it does look like we do have a second tornado on the ground now, observed north of Wayne. This is located just east of Carroll, moving north at 30 miles per hour. Or rather, yeah, north of 30 miles per hour. So there is another tornado in this mess as well. I'm going to guess that it's in this area, but I can't really tell. So there is a tornado on the ground there as well. So we're back up to 2 confirmed tornadoes on the ground at the same time. That being said, though, Leon's, please, if you are in Leon's, you need to get to shelter now. So I keep on saying get to shelter, but what does shelter actually mean? So there's a few different shelters that are good, but there are shelters that are across the board bad. Biggest one, mobile homes. If you're in a mobile home, you need to get out of that mobile home. You are more likely to survive a tornado outside of a mobile home than you are to survive a tornado being inside a mobile home. The reason? Well, mobile homes aren't built to withstand these kinds of winds. They aren't built to withstand projectiles. And unfortunately, tornadoes have wind and they have projectiles. So, If you're if you're in a mobile home and a tornado hits, your mobile home will be shredded, if not by the winds, by all of the debris that's swirling around. And if you're managed to be only hit by wind, your mobile home will likely get picked up and roll over, which obviously will collapse all the walls and you'll be trapped inside. So get out of a mobile home. The next worst thing that you can do is stay inside of a small car. Same scenario. They're a little safer than a mobile home, but not by much. A tornado is very easily able to pick up a small car. And we have seen there are many videos out there of tornadoes rolling cars. So make sure that you are not in a car. So if you are in a mobile home or if you're in a car nowhere near a sturdy shelter, what can you do? Best thing you can do is actually to get in a ditch, lie flat on your stomach, and put your hands over the back of your head to protect it. If you can bring something with you to put over your head, bring it. If it's a helmet or something else that's soft to cushion some impact, bring it, put it over your head, and if it's a big enough, put it over your upper back as well. If you have access to a sturdy shelter, that being a basement, a storm shelter, or just a concrete building, I'll go in reverse order. A concrete building, get inside, go to the lowest floor, far away from windows, and interior room. Put as many walls between you and the outside as humanly possible. If you're in a sturdy shelter that's not concrete, same thing applies. Lowest floor possible. Excuse me. Potentially a basement. Ooh, big time debris signature comeback. And you want to make sure that you have so basically lowest floor, as many walls between the outside as possible. You'll be okay. If you have access to a storm shelter, that is your best bet. Get in that storm shelter and stay there. With any one of these tornado warnings, if you are under a tornado warning, you stay in your shelter until that tornado warning has expired for your area. Now, granted, that might take an hour or two, but trust me, stay there. You can only keep yourself safe by staying put. So that being said, Leons, you are running out of time. This tornado is intense once again. It has reattained its debris signature. You can see it very clearly on radar there. So it is very clear that we have an intense tornado back on the ground. It is still heavily rain wrapped, so do not try to go outside and see this tornado. You will not be able to see it, and you will not be able to identify it until it's too late. So please, get to shelter, stay there, wait for the all clear. So let me get some information here. While I am waiting for the next radar scan, I'm going to see if I can't get any information regarding the storm. Let's see if anything is going on that I can see. So yeah, so Leons, you need to make sure you're going to shelter now. There is little time left to react. If you haven't started moving to shelter, you need to now. That being said, we do still have a bunch of other warnings that are spreading all the way down to the Rio Grande here in Texas, almost continuously, all the way up from there, all the way up through Oklahoma, Kansas, uh, and up to and including some portions of southern South Dakota. This tornado watch does still have effect for another 2.5 hours. We also have this mesoscale discussion, which I'm attempting to pull up here. It is likely the supercell threat is likely peaking over the next hour or so, which is good. But we still have a lot of energy in the system. We have 230 meters squared per second squared, 0 to 1 SRH. Dew points are upper 60s to low middle 70s. So we still have a lot of inflow that's available for these storms to take. Regardless, even though the threat might be peaking and it should be waning, we need to make sure that we are still weather aware. It is very easy to get caught off guard by some of these storms, especially if they're as rain wrapped as this one. This is why it's such a good thing that we have so many spotters in the area today. If it wasn't for them, we would not know just how many tornadoes are actually on the ground. This one, thankfully, is relatively easy to track because it has that tornado debris signature. But if it gets weak enough, it could potentially get to the point where it doesn't have that debris signature anymore, and then we'll have to rely on spotters to really get that going. Regardless, it is very important that if you are not a storm shelter, or if you are not a storm spotter, rather, sorry, you need to be in shelter. So it does appear that this tornado is taking a slight left turn, which will take it just barely outside of Leon's as proper. But this is still going to be a very close call for the suburbs of Leon's. Um, it's very important that you are in shelter if you are in that city. The next areas that I would be concerned about are Bancroft and Rosalie. If you are in those cities, you need to be starting to prepare to move to shelter now, especially as this tornado continues its trek northward, uh, past potentially through Leon's. Let me just finish off my dinner here so I don't have to worry about it anymore. Okay, should be good now. All right, so the couplet does appear to be getting a little more disheveled as it's moving toward Leon's, which is good. We don't want it to remain a discrete supercell with a very robust couplet. Um, it's still very much a strong tornado, at least, if it's able to produce a tornado signature that deep. It is definitely strong. I can't say how strong uh, for obvious reasons. I'm not a damage surveyor, so I don't know how strong this is actually going to be. All I can tell you is that radar is picking up winds of around 98 miles an hour inbound, or outbound rather, 40 miles an hour inbound. So that is 90, so it's called 140, so 70 miles per hour of VROT. That's about 60 knots of VROT, which is pretty impressive, really, if you think about it. Um, that being said, it is incredibly important that you are in shelter at this time. Do not wait for this tornado to come to you. It will not show any mercy once it gets to you. Please get to shelter now. Let's see here. So allow me to actually show you folks a very impressive thing with this storm. So it's on the bottom left that I just pulled up. This is called the specific differential phase, which is a basically it's a tool that's used to kind of infer hail size a little bit. It's a bit more nuanced than that, but essentially it's for inferring hail size. And you can see, so basically anywhere you see reds and pinks, that's mostly rain. Once you get those greens and blues, that's telling you hail. This thing is producing a donut hole in specific differential phase. This means it's able to wrap hail around itself. So not only is it shielded in rain, it's not just rain wrapped, it's hail wrapped. That makes this exponentially more dangerous as it's coming toward you. Because these hailstones are fairly large. They are upwards of 1.75 inches. Those are golf balls, I believe, is the size. So please make sure that you are in shelter, because even if the storm doesn't hit you directly, it will hit you with hail. And hail can be, you know, as dangerous as the outer wind field of a tornado. So please make sure that you are in shelter as soon as possible. It's actually, I'm curious about this. Let's see how this tornado has evolved. So it looks like the hail wrap is a relatively recent development. Yeah, you can see it builds up, but then, so thankfully it looks like that donut hole is weakening, but that tornado signature is still very much alive. It is passing Leon's to the it's passing Leon's to the west, which is good. It doesn't look like it's anywhere near as strong as it once was, which is good. That being said, this is still a particularly dangerous situation and needs to be treated as such. Do not do not take my words as meaning, oh, I can go outside and look at the tornado. Do not do that. You will be putting your life in jeopardy if you do that. There is a confirmed tornado currently located as of 15 minutes ago east of Carroll. So I'm assuming this is going to be where that tornado is right now, near Concord. Let me see here. That's not that's a radar indicated tornado. Our southern supercell looks like it is not doing as hot as it once was. I don't think it's going to be able to produce another tornado at least in the near future. We do have a whole bunch of other storms that are firing up along this really long dry line fronts scenario. So it's very important that you are taking the situation seriously, even if you aren't in the enhanced risk. So, but yeah, this tornado signature is still absolutely a thing. You can see those blues. It's not as impressive as it once was. However, we still have that reflectivity debris, the reflectivity donut hole, so meaning it is a bounded weak region, which is obviously not a good sign. We never want to see that. Yes, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, please feel free to put them in the chat. I am here to inform you. I am not here to entertain myself. Trust me, I do not want any of this to be going on. As I'm sure everyone in this area doesn't want it to happen either. But until this tornadic supercell chokes itself off or it goes below PDS status, I will be staying on the air to keep you all nice and well informed. So this entire line of storms to the south of that supercell, though, these storms are all capable of producing 60-mile-an-hour winds, golf ball size hail, and potentially a tornado or two. You can see that there is this hook to the west, to the east of Hooper. There's another one potentially trying to develop to the south. But none of them are at anywhere near as impressive as the storm up by Leon's. So it does look like it is weakening considerably at this point. The tornado warning is still in effect for another 12 minutes. So even though it looks like it is weakening, please stay in shelter for at least that long. If not, stay in shelter probably till about 7:30 Central Daylight Time. That's when I would come out of shelter if I were you, if at all. So yeah, I'm just trying to get as much information as I possibly can from about this tornado. Um, I don't see any new info saying that it's going to remain on the ground. So normally tornadoes, at least in my experience, tornadoes like to stay kind of on the right side of their parent supercell. So if you look at a supercell, you have the tornado and then you have its whole shape like that, right? With the tornado usually appearing in this area. So this would be our tornado. This would be the whole rest of the supercell. Normally tornadoes like to stay kind of on the right. So if you look from this direction, like up the supercell, the tornado usually is on the right side. However, what what sometimes happens is that you get the tornado, but then the parent supercell is attempting to look more like this. So the tornado is, so again, looking up the supercell, the tornado is now on the left. So that means, so basically, as it goes from being on the right side to the left side, so at least in my way of understanding it, that means it's occluding. So it looks like this storm has transitioned from being a right side tornado to a left side tornado, which means it is occluding, which means its time is almost up at this point. You can still kind of track it. It looks like it's right around Bancroft now. If it is on the ground still, this is going to be where it is. Okay, go ahead, circle it. It's getting close to State Route 51 and State Route 16. It is about to reach that intersection. So if you are near the intersection, there is a tornado possibly on the ground heading straight for you. You need to be moving to shelter quickly, as it is approaching you rather rapidly. So yeah, I'm just taking a look here. Let me see. So yeah, I'm not seeing too much more threat from this supercell. It's still considered a particularly dangerous situation. I don't see this trader warning being continued once it expires. In fact, I could even make an argument for the cancellation of this tornado warning altogether, but that's gonna have to wait until it's gonna have to wait until the National Weather Service out of, I believe, the National Weather Service Omaha. Excuse me, sorry. Once the National Weather Service in Omaha deems that the threat is below threshold, they will allow the warning to expire and cancel. However, that time has not yet come to pass, so we need to wait a little while longer for that to occur. That being said, there still is this tornado watch, which is in effect until 9 p.m. Central Daylight Time. It has been in effect since 1:10, so it's not like this is old news. However, normally what tornado watches do, they start from the kind of the northwesterly corner, the westerly side of the tornado warning, and the threat generally marches to the east through the tornado warning. That's what normally happens. This has been different. It's been an arc of storms that's been spreading off to the northeast with time. So basically, if you are in this area, you're pretty much out of the threat. However, if you are anywhere to the north of O'Neill, to the east of Norfolk, in the east of St. Edward, you are still very much in the threat zone for this storm, for the storm system, rather, not just the storm. So definitely make sure that you are staying weather aware as the night progresses, as things are still very much moving forward. So, with that being said, I'm going to put this onto the break screen. I'm going to let the animation run for the next few minutes. Make sure that nothing else extreme happens with the storm. I don't expect it to, but we are going to see. So, with that being said, I've been Rishi. Thank you very much for sticking with me for the duration of the stream. I do hope that next time I am hosting a stream, that my audio issues have been rectified and that I'm able to have teammates on alongside me. Once again, thank you very much for having me. I will be here next time with you guys. Thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your evening and stay safe out there.